Great parks are something that every great city has, and we are really proud to be able to work on this park that's getting better every year. It is something that 50 years from now, people will be so happy to have the degree of open space that the Boston Harbor Islands provide. The Boston Harbor Islands National Park area was created in 1996 by Congress. Boston Harbor Island Alliance was created a couple years before that, and one of its first goals was to get the islands designated as a park. Our real mission is to promote public awareness and use of the islands, to get people to know that they're there and appreciate them. So to do that, we have programs on the island, we improve capital facilities on the island, we improve the water transportation system, and we run a lot of programs to get kids and youth in the city out to the islands. The islands are owned jointly by the city and by the state of Massachusetts Department of Conservation and Recreation, City of Boston, and some others, different islands by different owners. The National Park Service does not own any of the islands, but they are the overlay and the protection of all of the islands. They're an incredible environmental success story with the cleanup of Boston Harbor. No one really paid attention to them until quite recently, and now they're just a popular destination and a great open space for residents and tourists alike. Boston Harbor Islands are 34 islands. They range in size from very small pile of rock to 300 acres. The most popular ones are Little Brewster Island, which has the Last Man Lighthouse in the United States on it, and tours go out and people are actually allowed to climb up to the top of the lighthouse. On George's Island is a fabulous old historic fort, 20 acres of just amazing historic remnants and history of the Civil War. On Deer Island, one of the islands in the park, is the wastewater treatment facility for Greater Boston. It doesn't sound like something that would be part of a park, but it's really a key part of the success story that cleaned up the Boston Harbor Islands. They run tours, and there's a nice walking area on that island. Spectacle Island, where we're standing now, has a great swimming beach that's lifeguarded. There's 5 miles of trails and the most spectacular view in Boston Harbor of the city looking back at the skyline. A number of the other islands have camping, some kayaking run by our partners at the State Department of Conservation and Recreation. Historic Fort Warren at George's Island is a great place for history buffs, and a variety of activities all summer long: fishing, learning to sail, learning to fly kites, all those kinds of things. This veranda that we're standing right next to has a jazz concert every Sunday afternoon. It's just free to anybody who comes out and wants to listen to music and read the paper or go for a swim, whatever they choose to do. We sponsor a sailing regatta at the end of the season, at the end of September. Next year we're talking about sponsoring a road race. In the meantime, we get Red Sox World Series trophy out here August 24th, and have antique baseball in the parade ground at George's Island, where, using the rules of the 1800s for people that play baseball, that's a really fascinating thing. Every Friday we have Boston Children's Theater for kids and families out on George's Island, where the kids go to summer camp to learn theater and then come out and perform on Fridays. People often ask me, how do I get to the Harbor Islands? Is it hard to get there? And it's actually really easy. The ferries leave during the summer every half hour from Long Wharf, next to the Long Wharf Marriott on the Christopher Columbus Park side. It's a 15-minute trip out to Spectacle Island, about 25 minutes out to George's Island. As gasoline gets more expensive, energy gets more expensive, life gets ever more crowded in urban areas in America, it will be ever more important to have open spaces for people to retreat and rejuvenate. No one is ever disappointed when they get out here and see the fabulous skyline of Boston and experience the cries of the gulls and the fresh sea air out here on these islands.